to In My Mug, episode 276 on Monday the 24th of February 2014. I am your host still, Stephen Layton, and we are still going to do the news. I always like the news, the exciting Anyway. New coffees added to the site this week. We've added a Bolivian peably, which I think will be coming to an In My Mug to you soon. But I've also added one that won't be coming to an In My Mug. As it is so small and tiny, it is the very definition of a nano lot. I think we've got about 3 or 4 bags of it. Not enough to even fulfill subscribers, let alone get it on the site. And I really wanted to share with you. It comes from Colombia. It's called Finca La Esperanza. A super delicious coffee owned by a guy called Alfonso Yara and his family. You should definitely try it before it runs away. It's one that I'm very excited about, and I think you should definitely try. Don't forget, you can still win tickets for the London Coffee Festival every week on the run up to it in April. This week I'm going to be looking for a screen grab. What's a screen grab? Well, I'm going to show you, basically a screen grab is where you pause the video, so I'm doing something like that, and you pause it, you take a screen picture of it and you send it in to us, of me doing something silly, and then we put it into something like this. So I'm going to show you an example now on the screen so you can see that there. So this is one that we've done, which is one from we did a few weeks ago. So when you've done that, email it through to us through the normal channels, through the website, and you may get chosen for 2 tickets next week for the London Coffee Festival to be on my special VIP guest list. You can choose your day that you want to come, so it's either Friday, Saturday or Sunday. On the Sunday I'm doing a live In My Mug and you get to see the UKBC finals, which I'll also be participating as the MC. I'm also doing some event on Saturday, so some training stuff. And I'm also doing the Brewers Cup on Friday, so there's loads of reasons to come and say hi. So yeah. Anyway, let's look at the last week's winner, who will get 2 tickets for the festival on a day of their choice. And this one came in from Dan Brunt. And you may remember last week I asked for an Ask Dale question, and Dan came in with: when preparing for a barista competition, other than simply delicious coffee, what characteristics are you looking for in the coffee that you can use in your presentation? And to try and set you apart from the competition. So let's hear what Dale has to say. Oh, hello. I'm not going to do the mask. So Dale has given me his reply to this. And basically Dale says that tasty coffee is a really important place to start. Because without tasty coffee, there's, on the score sheet there are lots of points for taste. But what Dale looks for is like he says that he's very lucky that working in a roastery he can kind of see the coffees that are coming, but also have much closer relationships and access to the producers, which allows him to I'm trying to remember what he said to me, to give you it gives him a hook. So he's looking for something that is interesting him at the moment. So for instance, the coffee he's using for the semi-finals at London Coffee Festival is a coffee that he's been working with the producer for the last kind of 9 months on doing something special to the harvest. And it's talking about the way that we can improve specialty coffee. So that was his hook in, and he uses the example of, like, in World Barista Championships, the performances that always stand out are the ones that have a message and have a very good solid base for a reason for using the coffee. But the coffee has to be delicious. So there we go. And that was Ask Dale. The amazing El Dolfo Esperanza loving Dale asking London Coffee Festival loving news. So we're focusing on, and we're back on Brazil this month. As you know, we kind of had a little bit of a break, but we've dived back in while I was travelling, but we're back into Brazil. And this week, we're going to focus on the varietal of Bourbon. So the origin of Bourbon may be from the island of Bourbon, maybe from Ethiopia. Bourbon is now called Réunion, but was named after the Bourbon family of France or somewhere like that, and has lots and lots of sub-varietals coming from it. It's fairly at risk of pest and disease. It's a decidedly average yield, but the cup profile tends to be amazing, and really works well in places like Brazil is somewhere that I've kind of seen some great examples. Yellow Bourbon tends to give a higher yield than the red and orange derivatives, although the red is the most prevalent. Has very close links to lots of delicious coffees. So SL28 has its boots firmly in the Bourbon camp, as does Tipica, Caturra, Pacas, Villasaci. And in the right environment, the yield can be very good and the cup profile can be even better. I don't think it's a coincidence that some of my favourite coffees of all time have come from the Bourbon varietal. For me, it is the most consistent of all the varietals, and one that I'm always excited to see on the cupping table, and one I'm always very excited to see from Brazil. So that was our focus on. Actually, before we move on from focus on, the cup characteristics tends to be kind of medium body, balanced, tends to be typically sweet. And lends itself very well, it seems, for espresso based coffees, so for espresso and cappuccino. And this week's coffee comes from the Bourbon varietal, but comes from Brazil, comes from the Pulped natural processing method, and he's from the Vieira family, who've specialised for 3 generations in producing amazing coffee. And the ship is now headed by Adolfo, who we saw a few episodes back. Actually was sitting here thinking I was slightly mental. And he's one of the most progressive coffee growers in Brazil. He's amazing. In order to guarantee quality, he pays well. He keeps the right team together, gets the right people, but he also has things like good living accommodation for the workers. There's a school within the farm. There's healthcare. They do education not just for the kids but for families as well. They also take their environmental responsibilities really seriously. There's a native forest set aside in the farm that is protected, and gets lots of visits from like children and ecologists and tourists. They regularly plant not just new coffee trees but new trees around the farm as well. They maintain their water sources well. They need them. They don't want to pollute their own water, but they maintain the local ecosystem, which I think is really important. Unusually for Brazil, Passaio actually picks all of its coffee by hand, and only does it when the cherries reach their advanced stage of ripeness, and they won't pick the green beans. Now, what happens a lot in Brazil, they'll have mechanical pickers which will just go along and suck everything out. But on Passaio, they're very careful to make sure that they pick the right ones and by hand. They for the Pulped natural, they then pulp the cherries, leave them to dry on patios, still with all of the mucilage over them, and then once it's dried, they then move it to resting bins for at least 60 days. So they have these big oak resting bins that they just put the parchment in and leave it there, just to stabilise, just for the water activity to just even out. And then it's milled just before export, and then it comes to us here in the UK. So the farm has lots of different varietals on the farm. This is a Bourbon, which is an heirloom varietal, but they also have Ruby, they also have Topazio, they also have Caturra, they also have Cataí, they've also Mundanovu. So they have a whole heap of different coffees on the farm. This lot was processed on its own, just with the Bourbon, separated throughout the process to make sure that it maintained all of its distinctive characteristics, and just gave the cup profile that you'd expect. So the farm is called Fazenda Passaio. This is a 100% Bourbon Pulped natural. It is an altitude of 1,100 to 1,200 metres above sea level. Currently, the custodian is Adolfo Vieira Ferreira. The nearest city is Alfenas. It comes from the very famous coffee growing region of Minas Gerais, which is in Brazil. So I think that is all of the bits that you need to know. Before we move on to the map bit, Back due to no demand whatsoever, it's time for Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. Stephen hasn't let me talk on this for quite a while, but I'm back, don't you know? So I'm going to come back with a geography fact. Did you know that Brazil borders every single country in South America apart from Chile and Ecuador? It's nice to see him back, isn't it? I've missed Roland. Yeah, Roland should do more daft facts, I think. I think we may resurrect his daft factness. But now it is time for the never finishing, never disappearing Matt Bit. Matt Bit? Maybe Matt Bit. So here we are. The same old view now. You're getting used to my face waving you off, but we're going up and we're going to go into Google Earth. There's good old Blighty, and we're going to cross the Atlantic Ocean and we're going to Brazil. The big old mother of a country that is Brazil. It is a huge, huge place. Grows coffee kind of fairly low down the map as well. You can't go a great deal lower than where a lot of these farms are. But let's look at the facts. So it has the most recorded number of species of monkey in the world. I like monkey facts. We need more monkey facts. But we're going down to the state of Minas Gerais. Minas is well known for its very fine coffee. It's a huge area of 226,000 square miles. I don't like square miles. I prefer square kilometres, but I'm going to use square miles on this one. So we're going down and we're going to go and kind of get right down into the farm here. So we're down into Passaio. Another win from Google Earth. I mean, just look at all the detail we have there of the farm and you can see the manicured grounds. And this is what farms in Brazil look like. Because of the way that they're set up and the temperatures and how low down it is, you don't need as much shade. So you can really see the coffee trees and the outline of the farm and gives you that extra detail. And for some reason, the Google satellite seems to like focusing on Brazil a lot. I'm not spreading any rumours about the Google satellite spying on Brazil, but they are spying on Brazil. So here we can see the border of Minas Gerais, and Cachoeira is just across the border. You've got Inglaterra down there, and we've got Passaio, and that was the map bit. So the wheel of death stroke discovery. It still lives. Gosh knows how. So, last time we had Presso, so I'm going to replace that with the stock room. And where it goes, nobody knows. And I kind of care because I don't want it to be Chemex! Woohoo! I win! Oh, jeez, I always win. So, it is the Chemex. Can you see the relief on my face? So I'm going to brew a Chemex, as I am the king of Chemex. And I'll be back with you in just a moment. So I am back, and I'm going to dive straight into the espresso. Do you know what I like about this coffee? It doesn't show off. It's delicious, it's chocolatey, it's smooth and balanced, but there's no kind of funky taste going on there. There's nothing silly going on. It's just a really good, sweet, chocolatey, delicious espresso. So much so I'm going to finish it. I'm going to go straight into the milk. Again, it just does what it should do. It's easy to drink. You can sup it, and it's nice. It's really nice. That's great. That is awesome. Now I'm going to go into the brewed. I've dug out in my mug episode 200 mug that I can't remember who sent it me now, but it was amazing. And yeah, I still love using this mug. It still amazes me that I can get 276. Crazy. See, it's just easy. It's like chocolate. It's like milk chocolate. Milk chocolate, sweet, smooth, delicious coffee. Like if somebody likes sugar in their coffee, they would not have sugar in this, I don't think. It's just so sweet. It is perfect for the home espresso machine. Like, it will forgive so much. Its temperature changes, not perhaps a quite right dose, quite kind of the right tamp. Like, it just forgives stuff. perfect for the bean to cup machine. If you have a bean to cup machine, I'd love to hear how you're getting on with this coffee. I think it would just work amazingly well. Right, I am done. Look, quick one this week, I think. It's good. So I'm going to wrap up. All that is left to say is life is definitely too short for bad coffee. Stephen hasn't let me talk on this for quite a while, but I'm back, you know. So, did you know that...